What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome to my Sunday bonus video. Today we are going to be going through my entire eyeshadow palette collection and pulling the 4 palettes that y'all will have to choose from for my upcoming Throwback Thursday video. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, Throwback Thursday is a series on my channel that I started as a way to get some use out of the older eyeshadow palettes in my collection. So every Sunday I post a video just like this one here, and then I put a poll over my community section with the names and pictures of each of the palettes. I give y'all a few days to vote, and then on Thursday we play with the winner. Now, since it is October, we are doing all spooky palettes for the entire month. Last week, Strange and Unusual from Bella Beauty Bar won, but let's go ahead and jump into this. We're going to start with the top drawer up here and start pulling our spooky palettes for this week. So, top drawer, as always, is going to be Blend Bunny and Nomad. I do have 2 spooky palettes from Nomad in here. I did recently do a video featuring both of these palettes for their return for spooky season, so we are going to skip these for now because of that. I might include them in a short or something like that if y'all really want to see them, but I just don't want to include them in like a full video right now. And then coming to Blend Bunny, the only palette that I have for spooky season from them is the Sickly Sweet palette, and this is beautiful. I do absolutely love this palette. It just doesn't give me the vibe that I want this time of year because it is a pastel palette, but it's a pastel palette with a twist and one of my absolute favorites in my collection, but we are going to skip that one for that very reason. So let's go ahead and move on to the next drawer down. So this one is going to be all of my Bella Beauty Bar, my Ensley Rain, and my Cosmic Beauty back here. Now, we do have the Gothic palette. This was actually a spooky season release, and I love and adore this palette so much. I think I am going to pull it. It is a monochromatic palette. A monochromatic purple palette done right. Geez, I cannot speak this morning. I am doing this like same day. I forgot to do it yesterday. Things got a little away from me, and I got in bed last night and went, oh, I did not film my palette choosing for Throwback Thursday. So I am up bright and early to choose this, and my brain is just not working yet, so bear with me. Okay, so Ensley Rain, we don't have anything. I don't think this was a spooky release. Let me know in the comments if it was. I might need to look and see. And if it was a spooky season release, I can roll it in next week, but I'm not sure. I didn't get that one on launch. It's very new. I haven't played with it at all yet. But coming over to Bella Beauty Bar, we have, of course, 3, and I am happy to say I did pick up the Vamp palette. That one is on the way. I am so extremely excited about that one. But we have Strange and Unusual, which won last week, and then we have Basic Witch, and we have Recently De-Influenced. Now, I would really like to play with Recently De-Influenced. I think it's beautiful. I do love this one, although I like Basic Witch more. I have played with that one more recently, so I think for now I'm going to go ahead and pull Recently De-Influenced. I can always dwindle this down if I need to. I usually do because I get a little trigger happy and pull a bunch of palettes for this. But let's move on to the next drawer. So down here we have Odin's Eye, Adept, and Unearthly. And y'all, I realized something after I filmed my spooky palettes ranking. I completely forgot one, and I don't know if any of y'all noticed it. If you did, you were so kind to not point it out in the comments, but I did not rank Devour. Who am I? I love and adore Unearthly, and I completely forgot to put this one in my spooky palettes ranking, so I apologize, but we are going to pull this one. This one came out last year. It originally came out in, I think, a mystery box. It was either a box or a mystery box. I didn't get it when it first launched because I didn't want the other products in it. So I bought it later on when they launched it by itself. It wasn't too far after. And this one is beautiful, but I haven't played with it that much. So we're going to go ahead and pull that one as an option. And then, of course, over from Odin's Eye, we do have the 2 from Odin's Eye and Angelica. Last week I had in Trick or Treat. It did not win. But I also have the little Ghost palette as well. And this one is so incredibly cute. I do love the color story in here. Do I want to pull this one? I already have 3 palettes sitting up there. And I do have a couple others in mind that I'm kind of thinking of. So I'm thinking maybe we're going to skip Odin's Eye for this week and maybe we can try next week. I think so. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do. And then Adept, they don't have any spooky season palettes. So, closing this drawer, and we're gonna move on to the next one. I am going to rearrange and sit down really quick. So give me just a second. All right, so here we are in a very cluttered drawer. There are a lot of brands in here. Some of them are a little bit more random than others, but we do have my Gourmande girls. So we have the Haunted palette. I'm not going to pull this one. I have an idea for an upcoming video with this one. I haven't played with it yet, so it is going to be coming, but I'm not going to put it in Throwback Thursday. I do have the Graveyard Smash palette from Wicked Widow. This one is so incredibly cute. I love the color story in here, and I think I might include this one in the same video as the Gourmande Girls one, so we're going to skip that one for now. But let's come back to Glamlite, because I have a lot of spooky palettes from Glamlite, and I'm really excited about the ones that they are sneaking for an upcoming launch. But what do we want to play with? So I'm kind of thinking of challenging myself and pulling the Ghostface palette. And I say challenging because this one is very like gray, cool tone leaning, and these are not my favorite shades. This is a beautiful palette. The shimmers in here are incredible. They are so beautiful, shifty, reflective, and I love them. And of course, I love Ghostface. Scream is one of my absolute favorite like horror movie franchises. So I think I'm gonna pull this one. Normally I like to use this as a companion palette, but we're gonna pull that as an option and see what happens. I do also have the Chucky Crazy in Love palette. This one is beautiful as well. I love the deep tones in here. I just need something a little bit lighter to pull in when I use this one, but maybe we'll pull that one at some point. I also have both of the Nightmare on Elm Street palettes. So this one is the Dream Master palette right there. And then I also have the Freddy Krueger palette, which is going to be your murky greens. This one is so good too. I love that one. And then last from spooky season from Glamlite, I have the two Scooby-Doo palettes. So we have the Retro Raggy, which is that one. And then of course we have the Creeps and Crawls palette, which is that one right there. Now, I did not pick up the Friday the 13th palette last year just because I felt like I had that color story, and I'm not a Friday the 13th fan. I find the movies to be a little campy and ridiculous. I love campy, don't get me wrong, but I just don't enjoy them as much as everybody else. But I have heard that palette is incredible, so I may pick it up this year. We will see what happens with other releases and color stories. But let's move down to here. So in this drawer we have ColourPop, we've got Melt, my couple of Sigmas, Juvia's Place, and then back here we've got Sydney Grace, Lunar Beauty, and Jolie Beauty down there. I do have the new Halloween release for Jolie Beauty coming. That one is called Spellbound, I think is what it is. It looks absolutely beautiful. I'm excited about that one. So this one is going to go in the other video that I was talking about as well, just because I don't think that one really stands a chance to win, if I'm being completely honest. It's cute, but the color story is a little on the boring side. But do we want to pull these? Maybe I should do a video separately using just these two palettes, like a palette bingo or something like that. Maybe not a bingo. I think that could be a little too chaotic for me. But let me know what you think about doing like a separate video with just those two palettes. I know a lot of people still have them in their collection, and the Muerte palette is actually still available. One of my friends let me know that it's still on their website, and I went and checked, and sure enough, it's still there. I just wish they would bring back Vita, because this one is gorgeous. I love the color story in this one. I could do without the browns, but they are actually really good in here to kind of anchor some of your looks. But let's go ahead and move on to the next drawer. So down here, things get even more chaotic. And oh my gosh, we have a little bit of everything in here. I can't even tell you what brands. I know there's like Sugar Drizzle, Ladybug Glow, and like a conglomeration of everything else. So I have a couple of palettes in mind that were kind of in the back of my mind whenever I started this. And the first one is the Castles of Horror palette from Ladybug Glow in collaboration with Blairdalemua. Why can't I ever say that the first time? I am so sorry, Blair, if you're watching this. But this palette is so good, and I love it. I do have this one featured in a video very early on my channel. It's all of my favorite purple palettes in my collection. I will probably have to update that video at some point because it has changed a little bit, but this one was in it, and I do really love this palette. So we're going to pull that one for now. We're going to have to dwindle this. I can already tell you that. But then I was also thinking I want to pull the Halloween palette. This one is so good. This is my favorite one out of the two that Betty Jean did with Shroud. And I know that there's a lot of issues with Shroud. People aren't really purchasing from Shroud. They are still a brand, but this is all I've ever bought. And these are really good palettes. I really bought them just to support Betty Jean. And I love these palettes. So we're going to go ahead and pull Halloween for now. Like I said, we're going to have to dwindle this, but I don't think there's anything else in this drawer that we are going to pull for this week. I think everything else is going to be just normal palettes, and those will resume in November. Although I do have the Martine Cosmetics Mayday palette. This was a spooky season launch last year, but this one just gives me winter vibes with all the blues in it. So I don't know if we'll get to this one or not. If you want to see it, let me know down below. I am more than happy to pull it for next week. But for now, well, if I can get all this in here, for now, I think we are done. Yeah, that's not going to work. I'll have to fix all this later. So for now, let's just shove stuff in here. This drawer down here is all singles, so we're going to skip that one. And then this drawer over here is all of my luxury and quads, and there's not anything in here for spooky season, so we're going to skip. Oh, wait, there is one in here. There is. There's the Falling in Love palette from Allie Dawson. You know what? This isn't really a spooky season release, though. This is a fall palette. Yeah, this is a fall palette. That just doesn't fit the theme. Never mind. Okay, I think we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and pull down the palettes, lay them out, and we're going to go through them and dwindle it down to 4 together. All right, y'all, so these are the 6 palettes that we pulled, and we need to figure out which 2 we want to take out of this week's voting. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up so I can see the color stories together, because that gives me a little bit better of an idea. I'm a very visual person. So let me just kind of open all of these up really quick so we can see our color stories. Ooh, sorry, that light is very blinding. I apologize. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. We're just going to kind of do this. Okay. All right, so here we have it. Now, these 2 are very similar as far as color story goes. This one is a little bit more expanded. This one is a little bit more curated, and you do have this really pretty navy blue up here. I love both of them, but my heart is telling me to play with Castle of Horror. So I think we're going to take Gothic out of this one. So we'll pull that one in another week, but for now, we have Castle of Horror. So it's down to these 4 over here, and I need to get rid of one of them for this week. And honestly, as much as I want to play with it, as much as I love it, I think I'm going to take out Bella Beauty Bar, just because we played with Bella Beauty Bar last week and their palettes are super popular. And I don't know, I have it in the back of my mind that if I left that one in, it would win, and we would be playing with Bella Beauty Bar every single week, which I wouldn't mind, but I want to give these other ones a chance. So this is what we have to work with. These are going to be the 4 finalists for this week's upcoming Throwback Thursday. So let's go through each of these together. I'm going to give you close-ups so you can see the color story really, really well, and then I will have the poll over in my community section, so make sure that you do not forget to vote on the poll itself, not just in the comments. I don't know if everybody is, but I just want to make that really clear that I am not going to be going through the comments looking for your vote. I'm going based off of the poll numbers itself. So up first we have the Devour palette from Unearthly. And this one is really, really pretty. I love this one around the Christmas time too. I think the color story is perfect for that, but this one is really pretty. It's a very kind of fun, strange color story. The shimmers in here are absolutely stunning. Next we have the Ghostface Lives palette. Ghostface Lives palette from Glamlite. And this one is our very gray cool tone palette. Very pretty, not quite my speed, but like I said, I wouldn't mind challenging myself just a little bit. And then next, from Shroud in collaboration with Batty Bean, we have the Hallow Bean palette. This one is so pretty. This one is just like the perfect little Halloween palette. It's got your black, your orange, your green. The shimmers in here are so beautiful. That one down there, Ghoulish, is beautiful on the lid. And I love Black Flame too. So that is our next choice. Whoops. And then last but not least, we have the Castle of Horrors palette from Ladybug Glow in collaboration with Blairdalemua. And this one is our purple palette with that little pop of navy blue up there. So incredibly beautiful. So that is going to be your 4 choices. Like I said, make sure that you head over and cast your vote. I cannot wait to see what's going to win this week. Bye.